Here's a letter from Jim Jacobson. It was Jim and Susie. They were living in the States, and they put out a family letter every once in a while. So I'll read that to you, and then there's a final note there, or a note to Margaret at the bottom. Dear friends and family, my mother died Tuesday, June 14th. Veronica Jane Morden Jacobson, born April 19th, 1916, had been in a nursing home since January of this year. She had suffered several strokes and for the past month was unable to speak. She had a hard time eating, and we don't know just how much she was able to understand during the last weeks. Mom was married to Abraham Thorny Jacobson, who preceded her in death in 1973. Together they were missionaries to the British West Indies, Barbados, Trinidad, Antigua, and in that order. During their missionary work in the West Indies, they founded a Bible school, the West Indies School of Theology, which has grown to become an important part of the Pentecostal work in that area of the world, and whose graduates have encircled the globe. Although we know it's flat and stationary now. They left the mission field in 1961. Dad became an English teacher in the United States and took missionary trips to the French West Indies during his summer months. They also served in a home mission church for several years in Mississippi. During the last 15 years of her life, Mom lived in Springfield, Missouri. Mom was survived by her 4 children, Margaret Louise Jacobson, age 50 at this time, John Morden Jacobson, 49, myself, James Thorny Jacobson, and David Maurice Jacobson, 42. Margaret lives in Hamilton, Ontario, John in Vancouver, BC, and from what I understand, John was living on the streets pretty much. I in New Mexico, USA, and David in Beijing, China. David had a business in China. She was also survived by her 4 grandchildren, Ben, Brian, and David, my children, and Ian Hosack. And Ian, David's child, her sisters, Gladys Osment and Georgina Hosack, both in Ontario, and I had the pleasure to meet Georgina, also are alive. Mom was preceded in death by her parents and sister, Grace. I had just spent 2 weeks in Springfield, Missouri, and Mom died 4 days after I had returned to New Mexico. It was a privilege to be able to visit her daily, pray with her, speak to her, and try to feed her. It was apparent that she did not have long to live, and that the life that she now enjoys would far surpass the state she was in just before dying. All that I knew her will rejoice with me in knowing that she now knows the ultimate joy of the presence of God in heaven. Love to you all. Jim Jacobson. And she has a note here, or he has a note. Margaret, I hope you will listen, or no, I hope we can meet again soon. You should listen to Bob. I think Bob was her boyfriend, Bob Dixon, and see a doctor. Love, Jim. Okay, so that's it, and that was dated June the 16th, 1994. There's Margaret there, and there's the 3 boys there, probably, and Margaret probably at the end there in Antigua.